Many people turn to coffee for an energy boost. However, its effectiveness can diminish over time for some individuals. The initial feeling of alertness from coffee is related to how caffeine interacts with adenosine receptors in the brain. Adenosine is a chemical that promotes sleepiness. Caffeine works by blocking these receptors, which temporarily prevents adenosine from binding to them and reduces feelings of fatigue. Over time, with regular coffee consumption, the body can adapt. In response to the consistent blocking of adenosine receptors, the brain may create more of these receptors. This is a process known as upregulation. With more receptors available, more adenosine can bind to them, and a person might find that their usual amount of coffee is no longer enough to produce the same level of alertness. They may feel the need to consume more caffeine just to achieve the same effect they once did with less. This phenomenon is commonly referred to as tolerance. Another factor involves the body's stress response system. Caffeine can stimulate the adrenal glands to release cortisol, often called the stress hormone. In the short term, this can contribute to a feeling of being awake and alert. However, chronic stimulation of this system through high and frequent caffeine intake could potentially lead to what is sometimes described as adrenal fatigue. Although this is not a universally accepted medical diagnosis, the idea is that overstimulation may eventually lead to a reduced adrenal response, making it harder for the body to manage stress and maintain energy levels naturally. Consequently, coffee might feel less effective or even contribute to a sense of tiredness. Furthermore, coffee's impact on sleep quality is a significant consideration. Even if consumed early in the day, caffeine can interfere with the natural sleep-wake cycle, known as the circadian rhythm. Caffeine has a half-life of several hours, meaning it can take a long time for the body to fully metabolize and eliminate it. This lingering caffeine can disrupt deep sleep stages, which are crucial for physical and mental restoration. Poor sleep quality, even if the duration seems sufficient, can lead to next-day fatigue. Over time, a cycle can develop where an individual feels tired upon waking, drinks coffee to compensate, and then experiences disrupted sleep, perpetuating the feeling of tiredness. The way an individual's body processes caffeine also plays a role. This is largely determined by genetics, specifically related to the liver enzyme CYP1A2, which is responsible for metabolizing about 95% of ingested caffeine. Some people are fast metabolizers, meaning they clear caffeine from their system quickly. Others are slow metabolizers, and caffeine stays in their system for much longer. For slow metabolizers, the effects of coffee, including its potential to disrupt sleep, can be more pronounced. As a result, they may be more susceptible to the cycle of fatigue and caffeine dependency. Dehydration is another element to consider. Coffee is a diuretic, meaning it can increase urine production. While moderate consumption is unlikely to cause significant dehydration in most people, relying heavily on coffee while not consuming enough water can contribute to a state of mild dehydration. Symptoms of dehydration often include fatigue, headaches, and difficulty concentrating, which are the very things a person might be trying to combat by drinking coffee. This can create a confusing situation where the perceived solution is actually contributing to the problem. Nutrient absorption can also be affected by coffee consumption. Compounds in coffee, such as tannins, can interfere with the absorption of certain nutrients, particularly non-heme iron, which is found in plant-based foods. Iron is essential for producing hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. An iron deficiency can lead to anemia, a condition characterized by significant fatigue. While coffee is not a direct cause of anemia, regular high consumption, especially around mealtimes, could be a contributing factor for individuals with already low iron stores. Finally, the concept of caffeine withdrawal is important. When a person who regularly consumes caffeine stops or reduces their intake, they can experience withdrawal symptoms. The most common symptom is a headache, but others include fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. For some, the morning fatigue they experience might not be a sign of poor sleep alone, but a mild form of caffeine withdrawal from the overnight abstinence. Drinking coffee alleviates these symptoms, reinforcing the cycle. In this case, the coffee is not necessarily providing energy, but rather temporarily reversing the withdrawal state. Over time, this dependence can be mistaken for coffee simply working, when in reality, it's managing a dependency the body has developed. Effects of caffeine vary between individuals. Understanding these various physiological responses can help explain why. For some, coffee may eventually seem to lose its fatigue-fighting properties.